Hey everyone, happy holidays. I wanted to create this video about some books I'd recommend for 2026. So these books range from very short stories from 100 pages all the way to something closer to 1300. So let's just get started. So the first book I want to mention is The Count of Monte Cristo. This book is about revenge. Our main character is betrayed by those closest to him. And throughout the book, you see him very hell-bent on getting back on those who have wronged him. Although this is a huge book, it is paced very well, and there isn't too many spots where I'm left bored of a chapter. I would say that if you're very interested in history, this is set in the 1800s with the rise and fall of Napoleon. It didn't feel too long to read. There were moments in the book where I felt, man, I wish it was longer. I'd have to say this is probably one of my favorite books of all time, despite it being so long. This story has such great detail and covers almost every genre. There is romance, crime. There is also like a prison escape, so your action and adventure. I can't recommend this book enough. So the second story I have here is The Death of Ivan Ilyich. So although this is a short story, I found that this is probably one of the more impactful ones. It tells a story of a man who's already passed, a very prestigious and prominent lawyer who spent his whole life accumulating money, trying to find things that people often look for in life, whether it be collecting power, getting influence. But at the end of his life, he finds that none of this has meaning. So this is someone who's chased money, power, and influence, but at the end of his life was powerless to his health conditions. This book analyzes what it's like when he knows that it's inevitable that he'll pass away and how he dealt with it. And we also get to see how the people around him react to his passing as well. So if you want a story that's more reflective and touches upon themes of life and death, I'd highly recommend this one. Next is The Sun Also Rises. So I heard a lot of things about Ernest Hemingway, and maybe more about his character than his actual writing. So I took the chance to read this book. So this is a story based in France and in Spain. So this story is about a group of pretty young people. They are kind of disconnected and lost in life as they explore the streets of Paris and of Spain. We get a touch about what life was like after World War I. It is not said explicitly, but Hemingway has a way of saying things that aren't said directly about the trauma that they faced from World War I. So this is another book with a huge amount of world building. We see these lost people just trying to find some connection and meaning in their lives. If you want another piece of historic fiction about people who are disconnected or lost, I'd highly recommend this one. All right, another book I have here is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. It's about a young juvenile who is frustrated with adults and is feeling overwhelmed with having to grow up. So throughout reading this book, you can't help but feel for the main character, but also kind of dislike him as well. The way that Salinger was able to portray the thoughts and the words of the main character is incredible. You really feel that he's like a kid who's just trying his best, trying to grow up, but is just clashing with the adult world constantly. I find this book pretty divisive. You either love it or you hate it. It's hard to say too much about this book. Let's say that it's not one that much happens in it, but still the way the story was told and from his perspective, it's still a great piece of literature.